know that 7 in 10 girls have felt better after unfollowing idealized beauty content on social media. New research from the Dove Self-Esteem Project shows that beauty advice is a big part of teens' social media feeds, but not all of it is positive. So we wanted to broaden this conversation from 3 different perspectives. A big welcome to Spencer Barbosa, a content creator and entrepreneur with over 7 million followers. Amanda Muse, a mom to a preteen and famous YouTuber, and our eco expert, Julia Grieve, an entrepreneur, of course, and mom of teens. Thank you all for being here with us to have this conversation. And Spencer, I'm going to start with you. You are in this generation. You have grown up on social media. How would you describe toxic beauty content?
I think toxic beauty content leaves you feeling extremely unsatisfied. It's content that puts your beauty before your health, if that makes sense. There's so many times that I go to watch these beauty advice videos and I leave actually feeling less beautiful because I'm watching a skincare video to learn about how to have healthy skin, and it's just someone wearing a filter talking about how to have perfect skin. I think it's toxic when we start to put our beauty before our health.
Absolutely, and very well said. So I'm going to ask you what's in your feed. You have a lot of fans, including my 11-year-old daughter, who is like over the moon for you because she says the content that you put out is super body positive. So what is positive content to you, Spencer?
Positive content is, I like following people who inspire me. Do you know what I mean? It's following people who have relatable content rather than perfect content. I feel like it's 2022 now. We know how easy it is to fake being perfect. We know filters, we know editing, we know all of that. So I would rather follow someone with real content that's relatable to me. My feed, honestly, is full of like food. I follow a lot of food accounts. I follow my friends and then people who have personalities.
Oh, I love to hear that. And you know what I want to see? I want to see the jiggle and the rolls and the cellulite and all the things. So thank you for putting that out there on your feed because it's what we all need to see. It's real. You know, 70% of girls would like their parents to talk to them about how to manage idealized beauty content on social media, which is interesting. So Amanda, I'm going to direct this one to you. As a mom of a preteen, have you had conversations about social media in your house, and have you kind of set some rules in place?
I have. So I have a 10-year-old, and I think just having been in this space now for 10 years myself, it's a free-flowing dialogue that's going on. And I think it's so important, you know, to understand the what, the how-tos, you know, create some transparency in what's going on online. And maybe it's like not a popular opinion, but I don't limit tech time so much because I use it, she's gonna use it, but let's break it down. Are they using a filter? You know, do they have a makeup artist? Do they have a team of people helping them out? And I think the more you know, the better it's gonna go. Like, can we distinguish between entertainment content versus something real, something true that's happening online?
I'm with you on that. And I always say, I want my kids to participate in the culture, but I want them to do it with a critical analysis. They're not going to be able to be removed from the digital revolution. So let's teach them how to be literate in it so that they're, you know, they don't have a plummet in their self-esteem. So my other question for you is, do you have any fears about beauty content and how your daughter might handle it? Because it's a lot.
It is a lot. And I do. I feel like it's a yes and no thing because yes, the pressures for girls to show up and look a certain way still exist. They have existed for so long. But we have the power to curate our feeds. And, you know, just like I go in and mute some people and unfollow some people, I teach her the same because there really are some incredible creators online like Spencer, you know, creating these environments where we can love ourselves and love everything about us because you know, this whole thing where social media is bad and this blanket statement, I think needs to go by the wayside because it's unrealistic to think that kids are going to be in environments where everything is positive for them every day. And if you can find someone online that lifts you up, that you see yourselves in them, there's power in that. And, you know, I want my daughter to know who doesn't fit the stereotypical beauty standard right now. Her body's ever changing, you know, at 10, that she's loved and she's worthy just the way she is. And you can find people who have that message.
Absolutely. And I'll add to that because the algorithm is basically whatever you put out, it's going to give you more of. So the whole unfollowing and muting and making sure you fill and curate your feed with the positivity, you will get more of it. And I also got a little criticism for this. I will mute people before I unfollow them. And you know why? It's the politics of social media. Because if all of a sudden I'm not following someone, I might have to like explain why. And it's like, you're triggering me right now. I just have to mute you for a while. And I'm telling everyone at home, do the same thing. If someone's triggering you, just mute them, okay? Jules, this is for you. You've got a 16-year-old daughter who is very active on social media. So can you share how you've navigated this with her? Has it been a positive experience?
Great question. And yes, total positive experience. But I think what's really interesting, especially when your kids very first get onto social media, I think there's sometimes, at least for me, there was a bit of a confusion between screen time and social media. You know, you get these moms that's like, oh, my kid only has half an hour of screen time a day. And I'm like, really? And so they're, you know, they're doing all this, whatever. There's a difference. Initially, social media is a way to connect with their peers.
Right.
That's how it starts.
Yeah.
So if you're holding them back from that, they're missing out on that initial part. I remember when Mimi went to summer camp, I think she was like 12, and 3/4 of the cabin all had Snapchat. So the entire year, these girls kept in touch. So girls were left out. Not because they weren't loved or wanted to get connected, but they weren't allowed to be on Snapchat, so then they missed out. So holding your kids back, sometimes you're not doing the service.
Yeah.
What you want to do is understand it. That's the number one thing as a parent, and really understanding it, Trace.
Yeah.
Like getting out of your comfort zone. As a parent, we do that a lot, right? Like driving to hockey games at 7 p.m. in traffic, out of my comfort zone. Do not like that at all. But at the same time, understanding what a reel is and when a reel goes viral and understanding all that talk and understanding it is so important as a parent. We have to understand what that means.
We do have to get it, and we have to get on those platforms, and we have to understand how they work, and then we have to watch it with them. The watching it with them has been hard with me because I don't necessarily want to see all of the TikTok content, but I'm doing it.
Right.
So I'm going through it, and I'm watching it with them. This one's for Jules. What's your advice to parents that are about to open this up to their kids? Like, what is your advice for how they should navigate it?
You know, I think the big thing is sort of setting those boundaries and then letting them in the boundaries and really letting them be there. Like, you can't be constantly on their feed sneaking in, who's DMing them, what are they doing? Like, let them play within those boundaries. The Dove Self-Esteem project is fantastic. I absolutely adore the Confidence Kit.
Yes.
This is endless resources. There's links, and it's there to help parents, grandparents, friends, aunts, uncles, anyone that needs to talk to kids about this.
Yeah.
It's such a great resource.
I think it's incredible that it's been 2 decades almost of Dove getting out there and giving these free resources to people to boost self-esteem. Like, all of this is pretty incredible, and we need to do that because there is a huge generation of kids that have grown up on this, and they need our help figuring out how to get through it and like maintaining that self-esteem. So thank you all for joining in on this conversation. Dove believes, of course, that no girl should follow anyone into thinking she isn't beautiful. For more info on Detox Your Feed, head to cityline.tv.